What's up, YouTube? ProTech here, back with another series of games for you today. Just want to give a quick shout out to LeJox147 for the $10 donation. Thank you very much, dude. Really appreciate that. And everybody else who has contributed during these long 30 days. Without further ado, into the matches. Alright, boys. We got a Random Terran versus Random Protoss.
광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다.
Teammate was Gold League in the loading screen.
광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다.
So we have a Gold League teammate.
광물이 부족합니다.
I
보급고가 부족합니다.
believe I've ran into both opponents before.
광물이 부족합니다.
He's cannon rushing.
건설로봇 준비 완료. 예, 알았다고요. 에이, 깜짝이야. 안 좋은 일인가요? 무슨 일?
Being cannon rushed.
일인가요? 예? 무슨 일이죠? 건설로봇 준비 완료. 안 좋은 일인가요? 계속하세요. 네. 뭔 일 있어요? 후방 지원 대기 중. 에이, 깜짝이야. 건설로봇 준비 완료. 뭔 일 있어요? 후방 지원 대기. 에이, 깜짝이야.
Losing quite a bit of mining time here, but that's just how ridiculously OP cannon rush can be.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다.
So that was a buttload of mining time loss, and I do know it's two
뭔 일
two
있어요?
Protoss. I can't believe I'm still gonna get cannoned. Maybe not.
안 좋은 일인가요? 네. 후방
사령부 업그레이드 완료.
에이,
광물이 부족합니다.
하늘에서 무슨 일이죠? 건설로봇 준비 완료.
Got the probe.
광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다.
왜? 뭐? 사신이 왜? 뭐 필요한 거라도 안 좋은 일이 건설로봇 준비 완료.
광물이 부족합니다.
누구를
Let's get up our Raxes and then go back on gas.
망했다. 건설로봇 준비 완료. 왜? 에이, 누구? 말해. 왜?
Kind of need to try and scout.
왜? 건설로봇 준비 완료. 알아.
부속 건물
To
완성.
gateway.
젠장. 망했다.
So he's not building expansion, which means I need two bunkers to deflect whatever it is he's doing.
망했다. 왜? 네, 안 좋은 일인가요? 말해봐. 건설로봇 준비 완료.
I'm not even gonna worry about factory tech right now.
사신이
I think the silhouette of this is a Twilight Council, actually. I don't think that's a Robo.
부속 건물 완성.
중요한
Yep,
일인가?
Twilight Council. So he's going blank.
왜? 하늘에서
He's going Blink Stalker.
무슨 일, 뭔 일이 있어요? 왜? 안 붙어버렸다, 일송이. 사신 중요한 일이.
사령부 업그레이드 완. 부속 건물
건설로봇 준비 완료. 난 못하는 게 없지. 간다. 간다니까. 그렇고 말고. 형님 나갔지. 말해봐. 하늘에서 건설로봇 준비 완료. 간다고.
에너지가 부족합니다.
Two Stargate Phoenixes, probably. Teammate didn't put his He didn't put his command center in the right spot, so we're definitely in trouble here.
힘좀 써볼까? 이번엔 확실. 명령을 내리실 겁니다. 계속. 뭔일 있어요?
보급고가 부족합니다.
He's going BC, so
광물이 부족합니다.
it's. I scouted the Twilight Council, so for the decision to continue going BC seems kind of funky to me.
에너지가 부족합니다.
Plus, the right side Protoss is probably going Void Ray, or that.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 연구 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
부속 건물 동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다.
이번엔 확실하겠지.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
건설로봇 준비 완료. 안 좋은 일인가요?
I'm absolutely gonna have to push here with 2 medevacs. There's no way around it.
광물이 부족합니다. 에너지가 공격받고 있습니다.
간다고요.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
힘좀 써볼까?
보급고가 부족합니다.
무슨 일이죠?
동맹 에너지가 부족합니다.
다음은 누구야? 기다리고. 계속하자.
구성 준비 완료.
한판 붙어볼까요, 송이?
Yeah, that's actually really good. That we, I was able to kill all of those. Now I can salvage my bunkers.
다음은 에이! 명령을 내리시. 기다리고 있었습니다.
And I can probably kill... you know what? Actually, what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill the rocks here. Because I don't really think the air toss threat is too high yet.
건설로봇 준비 완료. 후방 지
동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
다음은 누구니?
연구 완료.
구성 준비 완료.
We're going to attack
동맹 기지가
the Blink Stalker
공격받고
player
있습니다.
because my army's good against that.
내리실 겁니다. 이번엔 건설로봇 준비 완료.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
Need to get the storm here. No storm, no wind.
네.
광맥이 고-
자, 빨리 빨리. 오늘 딱 건설로봇.
업그레이드 완료.
자, 빨리 빨리.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
기다리고 있었습니다.
업그레이드 완료.
구성 준비 완료.
So they actually could have done a lot better here. Let's okay, so the problem with this map is that if you let the cannons go down, you're basically just kind of screwed because it's too hard to deal with, right? So if I see one worker, I'll pull like 4 workers on this map and just tag it. But if I see 2, I'm tagging both. So if I look at my economy, like my economy is in the 300s as I'm doing this, and both Protoss players are in the 900s as I'm doing this. So this is the kind of advantage that you can gain for yourself as a Protoss player, because on a map like this, you cannot assume that they're not gonna cannon you and just mine money, right? Because you'll flat out lose. This area back here is imbalanced. This area down here is imbalanced. Here, imbalance, imbalance, imbalance. I have to make sure that I can kill the probe at all times. Because let's say I let one of those probes go, well, he's going to be able to build cannons here. Or maybe he snuck another probe and build it down here, right? So I'm at a pretty big disadvantage, and this is why I took off gas here, so that I can mine extra resources to be able to build more units and bunkers in case this player here was doing something aggressive off of like one base or whatever, right? But the way for these guys to actually win this game is either this player rushes out Colossus or he rushes out Storm. Because that is going to synergize incredibly well the Stargate play, right? So, to be honest, the reason I kind of went bio here instead of going like 2-factory Cyclone, whatever, which can be good, not so good against the Blinkstalker Open, but it can be good in this matchup. And it's just because I haven't really showcased too much bio play yet in the video series. But, so, like, the first blink up that this guy attempts, like, I just found it kind of strange because he did pop into my base and he saw one bunker. He didn't see the second bunker. But, like, this play where he sends all of his stalkers up the ramp. Now, the reason he does this is because his teammate goes into my teammate's base and starts killing all these workers, so he knows I'm going to be sending my army over here, right? So this is why he decides to attack this area. But, like, if you watch his attack, he has blink, and now he's trying to, like, when he walks up, he's trying to make the decision, okay, so do I blink past it? Because you can see, he's really thinking about it, right? He comes back up. And then he doesn't do it, and then he blinks away. So, the reason you build the 2 bunkers when early game shenanigans go on like that is because if you don't, plays like this can really either flat out kill you or really, really put you far behind and make the game a lot more complicated, right? So, either way, this guy was pretty useless. Fortunately, I was able to carry the game. But, either way, moving on to the next one. Alright, boys, next game. Got a PZ versus TZ. I would say TZ versus PZ is definitely advantageous for TZ.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다. 광물이
But, of course, you know,
광물이 부족합니다.
that really all just depends on level of teammate, level of opponent, stuff like that. RNG, teammate RNG is what I like to call it. No, there goes my mouse, fuck. I I play from a laptop that I hooked to my monitor, hooked to my keyboard, hooked to my mouse, you know, through a USB hub.
부족합니다.
And
준비 완료.
I think the USB hub is going bad. Alright, so
동맹이 공격받고
I'm
있습니다.
actually going to go 3 racks here. And it isn't designed to win the game. Oftentimes it will, but it's not designed to win the game.
계속하세요.
It's just kind of more or less a build that you want to use when you're not really sure whether or not your teammate's decent. Because by going this build, you're going to give yourself a little breathing room going into the mid game. You're setting the pace of the game
동맹이
for
공격받고
yourself,
있습니다.
which just kind of makes decision making a little easier if you do in fact end up having a bad teammate.
광물이 부족합니다.
Although I'm pretty sure I've actually played with this guy before, so I think he's decent. And so far, from what I can tell, they're both not that great.
일인가요?
But I'm actually gonna let the Zerg player here
사령부 업그레이드 완료.
swim in the delusion that his expansion there is safe, and just pressure the Protoss for now.
광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다.
Then double back around when I can no longer do damage to Protoss. Okay, so this guy is actually just gonna die. You can't, as a Protoss player, you can't actually hold
공격받고 있습니다.
3 Rax Reapers with 1 gateway.
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
And he only has 1 gateway, so.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
하늘에서 뭐 필요한 거라도 있나? 물론이지. 알아들었다. 완료.
베스핀 가스
Protoss will die here for sure. Just make sure I have good control.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
From here, I can just take out the pylon. And then from here, just take out the nexus. There's no reason for me to even try
베스핀
to
가스가 부족합니다.
pressure Zerg. I might as well just wait for him to
보급고가 부족합니다.
try to help his teammate. Because if I do that, then my teammate can go and kill his base because his army's out of position, right?
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
Which is what you're seeing on the minimap.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
So, not really much to say about this game. Looked like a mismatch game to me. Sometimes when you play, like the account that I'm currently playing on is rank 2 on Korea. So sometimes you're gonna see like mismatch games like this. Nothing you can do about it. Blizzard matchmaking things. But yeah. On to the next one. Alright guys, we got the next game for you here. We got a Protoss Zerg versus Terran Zerg. Okay, so the Zerg player was the teammate from the previous game, and I have already played against this Protoss during this series today. So I know both of the players I'm playing against are halfway decent,
안 좋은 일인가요?
광물이 부족합니다.
and my teammate is not scouting with his Overlord.
광물이 부족합니다.
Right.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
Basic Zerg 101, the very first thing you do, right after you build your
광물이
first drone,
부족합니다. 광물이
is
부족합니다.
you send your
계속 안 좋고
Overlord across the map to gain a good position. Alright, so this guy is taking his gas, so he should be cannon rushing.
있어요?
So with this knowledge,
광물이 부족.
건설로봇 준비
we have to
완료.
go 3 Barracks Reapers here. Like, I have to assume that he's gonna cannon, which is what he's doing, right?
뭔일 있어요? 건설로봇 준비 완료.
So, in by going for 3 racks here, if the Zerg player has played
좋은
greedy,
일인가요? 뭔일 있어요?
I will be able to do damage to Protoss, and I'll also be able to kill Zerglings. And so, while I'm not doing anything to help my teammate, the strategy I'm choosing for should, in theory,
에이, 깜짝.
alleviate some of the pressure that he's going to find himself in soon. He's attacking his own gas, so he's definitely a very low-ranked player. So I'm glad I opted for this build, because this is the only chance I'm going to have to actually win this. The unfortunate thing here is that I have spawned in the furthest possible location, and when you do a build like this, you kind of want to be closer to the bases. But this is just what we have to work with.
광물이 부족합니다. 사령부 업그레이드 완. 동맹이 광물이 부족합니다.
중요한 하늘에
So we need to cross the map here, and because there has been no speedlings yet, that means that the Zerg player did 15 hatch.
하늘에서
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
And I won't be able to do any damage
하늘에서
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
because there is a cannon there.
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
Somehow, some way, my teammate actually held that, which is incredible. You don't usually see that.
뭐 하늘에서 중요한 건설로봇 준비 완료.
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
He's not getting speed though, so we're not going to have any kill pressure anytime soon. So I need to try and pull.
베스핀 가스가 부족합니다.
He should still have slowlings, so I really need to try and pull those slowlings
베스핀 가스가
to my
부족합니다.
Reapers so I can kill some of his Zergling. If that's what he's going, I don't actually know if that's what he's going. Well,
건설로봇 준비 완료. 아래서 중요한
okay, we've got a few workers there. I don't really think we're going to be able to kill any more workers. So there's a third base. So I'm not actually sure what the Zerg player's build is.
왜? 사실 건설로봇 준비 완료.
Okay, he's got speed now.
저승사자가 도착했다.
I need to try and kill as many of these as I can.
건설로봇 준비 완료. 저승사자가 도착해. 건설로봇 준비 완료.
Doing pretty well.
다시 말해봐. 왜? 무슨 일이죠? 저승사자가 도착해. 건설로봇 준비 완료.
보급고가 부족합니다. 보급고가 부족합니다.
왜? 중요한 말해봐. 건설로봇 준비 완료. 누구 처리해 줄까?
Finally, the teammate shows up. Hell yeah.
동맹이
Should be
공격받고
able to kill him here.
저승사자가 도착했다. 건설로봇 준비 완료. 저승사자가 도착.
Alright, so let's go back into the game here and just kind of cover the decision making. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of cover the thought process here. I've been in this scenario 100 million times over, so, you know, for those of you who are having trouble with decision making in scenarios like this. So, right off of the bat, okay, when I see my teammate make a mistake such as not instantly send his overlord out, it starts to raise the alarm bells. So from that point forward, I decided to go 3 racks, right? You know, sometimes I'll deviate depending on things that happen. If I hadn't decided to go 3 racks, I definitely would have after he steals this gas. Because this gas steal, the reasoning behind it is so that when he cannons down here, he'll have high ground vision of the Zerg mineral line here, right? So from this point forward, I'm going 3 racks. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And the reason for this is because if the Protoss succeeds in doing his cannons and the Zerg player has opened with an early pool, such as a 12 pool or even a 14 pool, because this guy has to pull so many workers to keep this, you know, to mitigate as much damage as he can, he's losing a lot of economy, right? He's losing a lot of economy and ability to be able to hold whatever it is this player is going for, right? And so to counteract this, you want to do something like this and try to abuse the terrain in the event that this player spams Zerglings, right? So this is why when you see this kind of stuff, you really need to open like this. Plus, it also gives you the opportunity to counter-aggress, right? So I think the situation here is that the Zerg player, I think he played way too greedy. I mean, look at how many drones he has. This is a lot of drones for what has transpired in the game so far, right? He has no ability to help his teammate. When the whole idea of the cannon rush is to put this player incredibly far behind and this player incredibly far ahead so that this player can kill both my army and his army. That is the concept behind that cannon rush, right? It's not designed to win. Cannon rush is not designed to just flat out win the game. It's designed to put your opponents very, very far behind and essentially give you a free win, right? That's the point. So I had really good micro here and I traded incredibly well. So this basically just ruled out the possibility of kill threat from the Zerg. From this point forward, because of this first trade that I took, I knew that I could continue to be aggressive, and I knew that ultimately I would be able to seal the deal. Because my teammate should, in theory, be coming to help at some point, right? If this was 1v1, he has a better economy, he has better production, and so eventually this would fall off, right? Me trading as best as I can just opens up a window for this attack. And that's why I over-aggressed, even though I was still losing Reapers, right? So I'm trading pretty well here. Then my teammate shows up, and the game is over from this point forward. And I'll tell you why. Because 99% of the time, when a Protoss player opens with a cannon rush, he's going to transition into Forge, right? And if he, or not Forge, but Stargate. And if he does transition into Stargate, that just means that he's not going to have a ground army after his cannon rush, right? Here in this game, that's not what he did. He went for Stalkers, but it doesn't matter because he's got 1 gate. What's he going to do against 3 racks production? So that's just kind of the thought process behind the game, the theory of you know, how to make your decision making, things that you should do, and things like that. So moving on to the next game. What's up, boys? I just want to give you a quick profile update here. You know, because I will frequently make the claim that I'm playing at rank 2 on the server and stuff like that. So I just wanted to put it in a perspective here of what level of games that I'm recording for you. So the screenshot right here is from a website called rankforthewin.com, and it you can filter ranks however you want: 3v3, 4v4, random, 1v1, Archon, all that stuff, right? And you will see that I have filtered this through league points versus MMR. Now, the reason you want to do this in 2v2 is because the high MMR players, they don't play on their accounts. It's usually like 1 game or 2 games or something like that every season, and their MMR just continues to go up, because you can't maintain that MMR when you play at this level because of the matchmaking, right? And so these players, they understand this. And so when they peak, they stop playing, right? They don't just keep playing on the same account. They use a different account, or they play pre-made or whatever. But anyway, so we can see that I have Starcraft in the background on my profile, and we can compare that to rank number 2, filtered through league points and the Korea server. So right now, I am ranked number 2 on the server. I'm slowly creeping up. I would like you guys to keep in mind that the rank 1 player is actually a map hacker, and he's the player from last season who finished rank 15 on the GMNA ladder, but he was proven to have been win trading. And when I stream, this guy usually is harassing me and obviously using map hack and stuff like that, or stream cheating. Map hacker stream cheating is one of the two. I don't know which. What I'm saying is that the guy is really shady, so to really take him seriously with his rank is not really something that I would personally do. I don't know how other people feel about that. So when I look at this, for me, I'm rank 1 on the server, but as per the website, I'm ranked number 2. What's up, boys? We got next game for you. 2 Zerg versus random Terran on the efflorescence. Let's see what race I spawn. Alright, so we got a Terran who's AFK. Feels bad. So if he doesn't come back soon, that's going to dictate what I do. Alright. So we're going to have to send a probe across the map, and we're going to have to try to do a 4-gate here, because Protoss cannot 1v2 2 Zerg. Still AFK. And he has returned, or left the game. Alright, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna do it right there.
무슨 일이죠? 예. 계속하세요. 에이, 깜짝이야. 건설로봇 준비 완료. 건설로봇 준비 완료. 건설로봇 준비 완료.
So essentially what we're doing here is we're just trying to do a hefty gateway all-in.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
This generally doesn't work. And certainly not if this gets scouted. It's a little unfortunate that it took so long for him to leave, otherwise I could have been able to have used the Terran economy here and go Reapers, but he didn't leave, so yeah.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
Send another probe out. Hopefully my adepts get there in time. Doesn't look like they will.
건설로봇 준비 완료.
벨람의 영광이다. 사랑스럽게 섬기리라. 말하시.
Gonna block that off in case they decide to do a run by.
우리 자랑
Warp gate is up.
전투가
Gonna make a bunch of sentries here in case of Baneling. Get a robo for immortal if there are roaches. And we're just gonna force field the ramp here. Try to kill as many workers as we can. Do whatever damage we can get in here.
첫 번째 차소는 굴하지 않으리라.
Okay, we got quite a bit of damage in actually. A lot more than I thought I was gonna get.
영광스러운 전투를 맞이.
We're gonna recall that army.
적과 마주쳤다.
Alright, I got a massive lead, and I'm pretty sure I won that, sonny boy! There it is. Alright, so the reason I was able to make this, or win this game, was because of my split decision, like my split-second decision-making, right? So we can see that my teammate is AFK, right? I don't know why you'd be AFK, especially if you're not, like, at the top of the ladder. It doesn't make any sense, and I know for a fact that this guy is not anywhere near the top of the ladder. Because queue times can be long at the top of the ladder, not if you're, like, at the lower ranks, right? So there's no reason for him to be AFK. So the decision to build the supply depot here was just in case of, like, super early pool. I want to keep the Lings out of here so I can get this economy, so not ideal. Going up to the 4 gate here, I mean, just kind of think about it. If you're playing with 2 Protoss, right, say your Protoss here and your teammate's Protoss here, if he goes 2 gate and you go 2 gate, you've got 4 gates, right? That's the level of production that you would want to have if it was a normal game. So that's why I went up to the 4 gates. And then I proxied. It's on this map, it is incredibly difficult to like get a pylon in the right place because overlords can spot basically everything, right? I think this was a mistake. Maybe I should have put it more like right here. But I want them to be alarmed that I'm coming for you, right? Because I don't want them to build drones. I want them to build Lings because adepts are pretty good against Lings at this stage of the game. So that's why it's okay that I put this here. But the other side of that is that you want them to build drones so that your attack is good, right? So you can either do it here with that concept or you can do it here with the other concept, right? So I'm just thinking, okay, man, I got to get some units out so that I can protect this proxy. And it actually turns out to be okay doing it here versus doing it here because you can SimCity it back here and melee units can't actually hit that. And then from here, I just chrono boost my, my core. And I build as many structures as I can, just to ensure that the proxy stays up. And then from here, the first warp in, okay? The first warp in is based on 2 things. What is my gas count? And what are the units that I have seen? Well, what I've seen are Zerglings, and my gas count is really high. So I go for the sentries first. And then I make it into his base without any issues at all because this guy's army was down here, right? From this point forward, he doesn't have any drones here. He's got his whole economy here. And I can just... You need 5 sentries to infinitely force field a ramp, right? So I know he's dead. So long as I keep force fielding the ramp. Now the thing I have to worry about is a Ling counterattack, right? So I walled this, and I had this depot wall here. If he does a Ling run by, all I have to do is recall and warp in units behind my wall. So I recall some of the sentries, some of the adepts. I keep the rest here to, you know, just in case there were drones at the natural here or whatever. And then the first force field covers a big part of his army, right? Ideally, I should have done the force field like down the ramp right here to lock in these right here, because you want to kill as much shit as you can when the Zerglings have very, very low surface area to attack your structures, right? So look, there's only 2 Zerglings that are actually able to DPS this pylon. So locking these units on the ramp is totally okay. Even though there's a lot of shit there, it's totally fine because I have enough DPS here to wipe all these out, right? And then of course I just do my counter aggression here. I've split up my army efficiently. He's gonna lose his whole army because I'm just gonna keep force fielding it. And there just isn't enough DPS in that tight little space to kill my wall, right? So again, these are just, if you want to be at the top of 2v2, these random 2v2, these are just these little decisions that you have to make in the first like 5 seconds of the game, right? I could see that he was AFK, so I have to make a decision. What am I gonna do? And for me, the best decision is to hope that he leaves and do an aggressive play. All right, boys, next game of the video. Random Zerg versus Terran Protoss.
광물이 더 필요합니다. 광물이 더 필요합니다. 광물이 더 필요합니다. 광물이 더 필요합니다.
So, I don't know what the race is, but I do know at least one player is Zerg. I know my teammate's Terran. I don't know if he's good or not. He looked gold in the loading screen. So I think the safest way for me to open here is going to be 2-gate into Stargate. Oracle will always be good. It'll be good against Terran, good against Protoss, good against Zerg, right? So when you play with no information, in my mind, the best way to open is with an Oracle. I'm not really willing to take the risk of taking a fast expansion. Because if it's 2 Zerg, well, there's no way I'm going to be able to hold it. There's just too many factors that can make you lose by opening early expansion in a scenario like this. So this is why I'm not going to opt for that. So this guy is going cannons. I need to keep him out of my base. I didn't know this was happening, so I'm kind of screwed. So I need to basically just sacrifice this area and hope I have enough time to get my stalkers back here so that he can't creep the cannons forward, right? Now I also have to worry about a Zergling run by, so I'm gonna build a battery back here, and I'm gonna replace my gateway and all my infrastructure that I'm losing out here, up at the front. I will never be able to engage these cannons because of that Overlord. So I really gotta start rebuilding infrastructure back here. There's second OV. Gotta build another battery because I'm sure there's gonna be a Zergling flood coming my way soon. Once I get 4 stalkers, when I attacked it the first time, it was on hold position, and this time may or may not be. I'm gonna go for it once I get that fourth one. Oh, I have a sea shank. Alright, so smart play on my part there. Alright, so I need to get a robo here because he might be going to our Templar. And then I need to expand. Alright, so I'm going to counter-aggress here. I have a recall. Because the Zerg player may have gone greedy, right? Like, he may have gone for, like, fast 3 base. So I'm going to check for that instantly. And I'm going to go Blink Stalkers here because the follow-up is usually air from Protoss. Alright, so there's no third base. So the next thing to do here is to chrono boost out a OBS and play a little defensive. I need to find out what the tech is. So we're going to actually make another OBS just in case of Dark Templar. There's a pylon back there. And we're going to get Blink. Blink OBS will basically cover everything you need in the early game. And he did. He went DT. Imagine that. Alright, so Zerg player's got 3 Spine Crawlers, Spore Crawler, Nidus Network. Okay, Protoss player is basically saturated. Alright. Alright, so it looks like Zerg player is going to die to the battle cruiser. I don't know what his strat was or what his plan was. I don't know how these DTs keep getting into the base. Maybe there's another pylon back there. Let's go take a look. Yeah, there's another pylon. Alright. So there was no robo. And we're gonna get... I gotta put a pylon here so I can spot for Nidus. We're gonna go Zealot, Stalker, 2 base timing. And we're also gonna get Archons with this because you're gonna float a lot of gas if you go for this strat. And we're not going to take a third base right now, but I don't want to oversaturate. Let's actually go up here and check and see if Protoss took a third base. If Protoss took a third, I'll take a third. No third base. Alright, I'm gonna go pressure. I'm actually just gonna go ahead and take this because my mineral count should be alright for a little while. Since I'm gonna be building Archons. Plus I'd also like to have a decent orphan area for denying that base. So he's gone Infester. Weird. Okay. So maybe I'll build a couple High Templars for feedback. But, you know, it is 2 base. I don't know. Maybe I don't actually need these High Templar. Let's go back up here and check to see if he took another base. Still no base. I think I'm gonna start throwing in, he's gone Storm. Storm High Templar, so let's get some Immortals in the composition. That seems like a good idea. I'm gonna attack the 3rd here because I don't feel threatened by that, and it feels as if this guy is just trying to knight us. And let's go back here because I'm about to get knighted. Protoss player is recalling, so now I can try and go take his 3rd again if he tried to take it. No 3rd. Oh, there's a drone there though. Alright, so I'm not really threatened by Infestors here, so I'm actually just gonna build, turn these into Archon. Getting supply capped is not part of the plan. Let's actually build a cannon and more mineral lines. There's no, the way I SimCity, there's no space actually. Oh crap, I wasn't expecting that, goddammit. Okay, I have no teammate here. I've got my own damn Archons killing my shit. I wasn't expecting Neural Parasite, to be honest. Alright, so I just lose that because I have no teammate. And I guess I'm gonna continue to not have a teammate. My teammate is not scanning for me when I get neural parasited. He's just a useless ally, right? Not really too much I can do here. Alright, so I actually wasn't expecting Neural Parasite play. That was actually the last thing on my mind. And I actually think what I should have done there, because this is 1v2, right? My teammate is useless. What I should have done there was I should have actually gone for Colossus. Oh, there's actually a base down here, I think. Oh no, I can't believe I didn't know that. This army is too small. This army is too small. I'm not going to be able to stay there. So our teammate is still not doing anything. He's still totally useless. And I'm very, very far behind. There's not really much I'm going to be able to do. I just kind of have to build what I can at the moment. Maybe I'll start trying to go for some, Oh yeah, baby. That definitely needed to happen right there. Nice. Alright, so... oh, shite. I was gonna go attack the bottom right base, but... his teammate is here. Oh god, the micro. 1v2 all day, every day. Wonder how long he's had that. Man, I wonder how long he's had that. Ugh! Ugh! See if he got really greedy. No! Yeah, he did. He got super fucking greedy. The level of my teammate is really, 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 really making this game hard. What was that? Is he up the ramp here? Let's try to attack this. It's actually a bad idea. His upgrades are better, and that Zerg player attacking that base right there would be not smart, I think. So now that I've weathered this storm, my teammate actually has an army, but it took fucking, what, 18 minutes to get there? Alright, well I guess if he's committing, time to go. Oh god. Alright, I'm just gonna counter here. Man, these guys' expanding patterns is so fucking awkward. And they've expanded all, I mean, goddamn, dude. They've expanded all over the fucking place. I'm really surprised we're actually winning this. Power of battle cruisers, I guess. Well, if they've been expanding all over the place, I might as well check here too, right? There it is. Whew. Crazy game, dude. So, the mistake that I feel I made in this game was I just didn't feel threatened by Infestor, right? It was 2-base Infestor. Why would I ever feel threatened about that, right? The last thing that I was thinking is that he was going to go for Neural Parasite, and that actually almost ended up just, like, making me lose this game, right? So for the first, like, what was it, 10, 12 minutes, something like that, my teammate was totally useless. Totally useless. No teammate at all. So I lost my third. I lost my army. I traded pretty well. I killed a lot of Infestors. There was one blunder by the Zerg player where he sent his Infestors in and just lost all of them for free. So that was a game-changing moment. Yeah, I mean, God, dude, that was tough. Let's take a look at what my teammate's rank was. So he was gold. You know, you got a borderline Master League player, you've got a mid-diamond player, and then you've got a mid-gold player, right? So, crazy game. Crazy game. No idea how I won, but I did. Thanks to the battle cruisers at the end of the game, because they spent so many resources trying to kill me, and they didn't do anything to the Terran player, so the Terran player just kept getting more BCs and more BCs and more BCs. And it doesn't matter what your rank is, if you're maxed out on BCs and you don't have the counter to it, good luck. Welcome to the next game. 2 Zerg versus random Zerg. I think, ideally, I should open with 14 gas, 14 pool, because bear in mind I just played with this guy. Oh, wait. Never mind. The thing is I don't know what the race is, because that barcode is playing random. And so if I go 15 hatch, it's kind of a risk. Because he could very well be Protoss and go cannon. May happen, may not, we'll see. Hopefully I'll be able to handle it if it does. The point is that there's like a 33% chance that he has random into Protoss. Now, again, I have yet another AFK teammate. Not sure why this happens all the time, but Blizzard, you need to start punishing people for this. So, yeah, we're going to be going for a lot of speed lane, ban lane here. Again, it's unfortunate that I've spawned in the furthest location from my opponents, but it is what it is. So there's one Zerg. We'll find out what the race is. There's no wall here. I haven't seen a second Overlord. I don't know what his race is. I gotta dart in. And it's Protoss. Alright, so instead of going Banes here, I'm actually just gonna go for a Speedling all in. Because if I recall correctly from the last game, the Zerg player did some really funky stuff where he had like 3 spine crawlers at the front of his base or whatever. So I don't really feel threatened by Zerg in this game. I don't think he'll have Banes, and going for the Speedling spam here is good against Protoss Zerg if there are no Banes. So we're gonna chill out here for a little bit. Wait for Zergling speed. And then when Zergling speed gets to about 65 seconds, I'm gonna scout with my Ovi again. I'm gonna poke with that Overlord and find out if he like walled his base or whatever. Then we're gonna start moving across the map. So there's no wall in here. It's getting pretty close. I should be able to kill him here though. Alright, here we go. Protoss player is got a good micro going on. For that pylon to potentially cap him. Ooh, nice. He autoed his gas. In his panic. Alright, so I'm not actually going to go in there. It would be just bad trading, so let's go find out. Got an expansion. A bunch of spine crawlers. We'll just take out the expansion, and we will wait for a bigger Zergling count. The ones that are in the middle of the map, by the time they get there, I'm going to actually just dart into his main and try to kill workers. Ooh, he walled there. I think I have enough here, hopefully. I'm definitely killing workers regardless, so. May seem like a waste, but if you look, he's only got 3 workers now, 4 workers, so. He'll be out of the game, and then I just gotta deal with whatever he's doing. So he actually went Hydra, so I actually need to build some drones and go Banes. Move my Overlords so I don't lose him to Hydra. Banes are really good here because it's Zealot, Adept, Hydra, right? Infestor Spire with 2 gases, lol. That's such an awful build. I'm actually going to go down here, because the Protoss army is slow, and I might actually be able to kill some of the Hydras. Infestation pit. Let's get a second gas, because more Banes would be good here. Now he's gonna have sentries, so if I leave, I'm not gonna be able to go back in. But I think that's okay. Build some Banes out here. Let's go this way. Still no expansion from Protoss, so I feel pretty okay about everything that's happening so far. Definitely need more army. Head Banes. Try to see if he's at the ramp. It's not the ramp. Fuck it, YOLO. Oh yeah. I actually have to get out of here because when Protoss comes to help him. Sentries can lock my army in. I'm gonna go for Baneling speed here. Hopefully at some point we'll have an ally. Rushing straight to Broodlord, not a very good tactic. Gotta think about taking a third here. Kinda running out of money. Oh, what the hell? So before I can do anything else, I really kind of need to have Baneling speed. My teammate is rushing straight to Broodlord, so I mean they're not going to be able to deal with that unless Zerg is going Master Roll Parasite like he was before in the previous game. Let's cancel his third. Oh, he's going Nidus. Fuck. Actually, I have to turn around and handle that. Because I can't really do anything without speed. Enough larva to fully saturate my third. He's still not at his wall. He's lucky I don't have Bane speed yet. Guess I get Bane speed. Be able to do a lot more here. Start getting upgrades on my lanes. Alright. So here... Oh, shite. Oh my god, I can't do anything about that. This is gonna be a base trade. We are going to win, I believe. Guess I could go Spire here to clean up the lurker. It doesn't really matter because all I have to do is just take some drones and build extractors all over the place because we have Broodlords. And his army is not going to be able to deal with broods. Just to ensure the win, I'm just gonna keep building extractors all over the place.
동맹이 전투 중입니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다.
Because he probably thinks that he has a chance to
전투 중입니다.
actually win the base trade. Because the broodlords are really slow.
기지가 아군이 동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 베스핀 간을 처리지. 동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 아군이 공격받고 동맹이 전투 중입니다. 광물이 동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 기지가 공격받고
So I don't really think this guy understands
전투 중입니다.
the situation here. He should be sending his broodlords from here to there so we can win the base trade.
동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 동맹 기지가 동맹이 전투 공격받고 있습니다.
So yeah, no way for him to win the base trade. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. I've got 13 extractors that he would have to go around
기지가 공격받고
to kill
기지가 위험합니다.
before we're able to DPS the remainder of the buildings, right?
동맹이 전투 중입니다. 동맹이 전투 중입니다. 동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다.
So we're fine.
아군이 공격받고
Just have to find his building. Where would he have put it? Oh, that stinks.
동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 동맹
If I dart in here and he's got a bunch of lurkers fucking defending this Nidus, I'm screwed. But I might be able to get it. Oh, but he's got spores down here too.
기지가 공격받고 있습니다.
Crazy.
동맹 기지가 위험합니다.
And he's there too.
동맹 기지가 위험하군요. 공격받고 있습니다.
What was that? So he's just gonna be putting lurkers
동맹 기지가 위험합니다.
near his buildings. And he's never gonna win because we have all these broods.
동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 동맹이 전투 중입니다. 동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 동맹 기지가 위험합니다. 동맹이 전투 중입니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Bro, please.
동맹 기지가 위험합니다.
I mean, this guy is... Look, he's going over here. Is he daft? He's daft. Just attack here!
아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹 기지가 위험합니다.
I'm gonna go have a cigarette while we watch this guy. Come on, bro. Alright, so I think this game is pretty self-explanatory. I 1v2'd at the start of the game. Gave my teammate enough time to get up a Broodlord count and win the game that way. But that took a hell of a lot longer than it should have, for sure. 2 Protoss versus random. Ranks look pretty low this game, so I'm assuming it'll be relatively easy.
광물이 부족합니다.
But nothing I can do about that. I am queued on my rank 2 account, so.
건설로봇 준비 완료. 뭔일 있어요?
광물이 부족합니다.
It is, it's 2 Protoss.
광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다.
So, I'm gonna do a build that I have not showcased yet on any of my videos.
광물이 부족합니다.
뭔일 있어?
보급고가 부족합니다.
Actually, maybe I have.
광물이 부족합니다. 광물이 부족합니다.
I
광물이
seem to remember
부족합니다.
playing a Terran game yesterday where I did something similar to what I'm gonna do. Either way, the plan here is when you play against 2 Protoss, depending on the builds, obviously,
건설로봇 준비 완료.
there's a strategy that you could use that involves
후방 지원 대기
Fast
중.
Hellion. And you use this primarily to snipe workers, right? And this will give you some kind of an economic edge going into the later stages of the game.
동맹이 공격받고
It
있습니다.
doesn't always work. But we shall see. So you just do a Reaper expand,
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
and then you go factory,
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 사령부 업그레이드 완료.
and then you go reactor. You go gas, and then you
동맹이
go
공격받고 있습니다.
reactor on the Rex. So you're not going mech, but you are doing a open that gives you mobility and a chance to harass worker line, right? I want to keep this Reaper alive actually instead of going in because
부속 건물 완성.
I want to pull his units
아군이
out of
공격받고
position.
있습니다.
Okay, we're gonna be able to get out of there. And there's quite a few gateways here, so normally when I do this, I'll usually just go up to
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 부속
4
건물
Hellions, but
완성.
I think this game I'm not going to because there's just too many gates. So I'm gonna send these across the map. I'm gonna make my transition into
사령부
bio.
업그레이드 완료.
Gonna build a starport when I get the resources. And we're just gonna run by everything.
부속 건물 완성.
Yikes. Alright, so I don't know. I didn't really get too much done with that. But it was okay. I feel like it was justified.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
So I'm going for the fast upgrades here because of the fleet beacon. I need infantry upgrades to deal with interceptors early.
부속 건물 완성. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
Fuck. Could have got 2 there if I had controlled a little better. And once I get stem, or not stem, but medevacs, I'm pushing across the map. Because he does have a lot of stalkers, but it kind of looked like I'd be able to do some damage if I push. Oh crap, I walled in my damn mule. Take a third base behind our push here, get the armory so we can continue +2.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
You actually got a medevac there, that's not good. Means the strength of this attack is just way weaker.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 연구 완료.
I'm just gonna take all that I can here because I'm not gonna really be able to get away from that army.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 완료. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
Man, I'm not playing very well. Do I have medevacs? Yeah, I have medevacs. So I'm gonna cancel those two and get the upgrades.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
Alright, so we're in a pretty good spot, and that's because the teammate is doing work. Went for a DT play and it blindsided him, so
업그레이드 완료.
and he's been macroing really well behind it too, so
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
I don't typically get good allies like this,
광맥이
but
고갈되었습니다.
he's definitely playing well. So it's 2 Protoss, and when you play 2 Protoss, ghosts are pretty good, especially with the new upgrade for the radius on EMP. Let's see, we're going to attack the base over here.
광맥이 고갈되었습니다.
Yeah, you gotta be shitting me.
기지가 아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 부속 건물
Ah, you gotta be shitting me. Fuck.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다. 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 업그레이드 완료. 업그레이드 완료. 동맹 기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
It's not good.
기지가 공격받고 있습니다. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Drop like 2 there. Drop some up here.
연구 완료. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
Just kill the workers I could. Alright, so I never checked the gold base, so we might actually be in a pretty bad spot here. If he has a gold base, it's definitely gonna be tough. I'm gonna start getting Ghost. I definitely have an upgrade advantage, so that's good. Yeah, his army's on 0-0, so just gonna go back this way. I don't feel the need to attack up into Colossus there.
연구 완료. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
Need some more tank in my army for those Colossus. And now I'm gonna transition into Ravens. I got a 4th base coming up.
아군이 공격받고 있습니다. 동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
Really bad engagement. I don't know. There's just this thing I do where, like, when I'm playing Protoss, I always forget that they're broken in this matchup. So if I'm sitting on 2-2 and my opponent has 0-0, I'm just assuming I can A move into it.
업그레이드 완료.
I'm gonna have to start getting more marine production because gotta have something to do with those carriers. You know, a lot of times when you play against Protoss players who
부속 건물 완성. 사령부 업그레이드. 아군이 공격받고 있습니다.
go carriers like this,
부속 건물 완성.
they have ninja bases.
동맹이 공격받고 있습니다.
So the Protoss Air doesn't have any upgrades, so I never have to worry about, like, taking a bad engagement. I can literally just A
방력이
move.
고갈되었습니다.
So we are getting Ravens to lock things down.
방력이 고갈되었습니다.
We're gonna go back over here to so you can see by going Ravens here, it just
방력이 고갈되었습니다.
they're just so fucking useful. They're just so fucking useful against Protoss, right? Because Protoss, they have high value units, right? It's a low count. So when you think about the value versus the cost of a Raven in this matchup, it's ridiculous. Because if you can neutralize a carrier, if you can neutralize a Colossus, if you can neutralize a mothership, what's gonna stop your army? You've got the EMP for ghosts. You've got the Raven for carriers, disruptors, warp prisms. I just kind of feel like this composition is very underrated, especially in the pro scene. I think this has not been explored, and I think this is very, very good for late game. But yeah, solid teammate. I didn't play the greatest. I was floating a lot of resources. I just kind of had a bad game, you know? I mean, it happens. Like, sometimes you just don't play to your full potential. Can't play every game perfectly, right? Both of these players, if you were paying attention to the load screen, it said they were plat. These players are not plat. They're actually pretty decent. So, good match. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, that is going to conclude today's video. I want to thank each and every one of you guys for tuning in to the video today. Really appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed yourself. Again, big shout out to LeJacques for the $10 donation. Really appreciate that. And to close out the video, I just kind of want to go over the match history here. I have literally been playing on one account, and I've been uploading every game, okay? Since we started this series of videos, we started about 2 days ago, and we have lost one game. This game right here, you can see the duration of the game was 4 seconds. I was actually playing Path of Exile because the queue time was a little long, and I accidentally closed out on Starcraft by mistake instead of closing out on Path of Exile. So I've actually only lost one game since I've started doing these videos. Let's see, so how many games is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15... So the record is 15-2, but it's actually 15-1 because I accidentally left that game, right? So that's kind of a big difference between streaming and not streaming, right? I will typically go, I'd say about 50%, 60% whenever I sit down to actually play the game. So the win rate, especially at playing at the rank 2 on the server, it's definitely a different perspective. You know, making these videos has been a lot of fun. You know, I have decided that I'm going to step back from streaming for the next 30 days just because I have a lot of motivation to do these videos. It's fun, and it's something different, right? So as time has gone on, I'm a little less worried about doing a live broadcast because this just makes me a lot happier. It's just a lot more fun. It's a lot more interactive. You know, I don't have to worry about people watching my live broadcasts and cheating while they play against me, and that reflects in the record. You know, I mean, I've just been going up and up and up and up and up since I've got the 30-day ban. So, you know, it kind of more or less is a blessing in disguise. You know, as a live streamer, it gets kind of monotonous doing it over and over and over and over, day after day after day after day after day after day, and it just kind of gets, you know, it kind of gets a little boring. So getting a 30-day ban, while definitely is not something you want, this is the second time it's happened, and in both cases I have been very vocal about being a like a blessing in disguise, right? So you know, it's been fun, it's been good, the support is there, it's awesome. It's great. It's fantastic to make these videos. I love the editing process, albeit it takes a long ass time just to make like an hour-long video. I mean, we're talking the whole day. I spend the whole day making these videos, getting it right, you know, trying to make sure that I'm presenting myself well and doing the videos right. So it occupies all my time. I'm not bored. Thank you all for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Just on a quick note here, I want to take a look at the votes that I've put, you know, just to kind of find out whether or not you guys, what you're looking for when I make these videos. And so far, we're up to 53 votes. We have 57% of the vote is for 1 hour plus videos. So I'm going to let it run for like maybe another day or two, and then we're just going to kind of go from there. If it's 57% of the vote, I'm definitely going to do 1 hour plus videos every time I make a video. But yeah, thumbs up if you like it. Hit the thumbs down if you don't. Follow me on Twitter. Subscribe to my Facebook. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Make sure you turn your notifications on, the bell, so that you guys get notified when I do put it out. And I'll see you guys with the next one. Have a good day. Peace.